The Drumstick ice cream cone combines 4 separate components: a baked sugar cone, a chocolate-lined interior, vanilla ice cream, a peanut topping, and a chocolate-dipped tip, into a single handheld product. And assembling those 4 elements onto a moving production line without the cone breaking, the ice cream melting, or the coating failing requires a level of engineering most people never associate with something sold from a freezer case. Millions are produced every single day. This is the complete process from raw batter to finished, individually wrapped cone. It starts with the cone itself, since the cone is both the packaging and an edible component, and it has to be manufactured before anything else can happen. The sugar cone used in drumstick production begins as a thin, pourable batter made from wheat flour, sugar, vegetable oil, and water, mixed in large batch mixers until completely smooth and free of lumps that would create weak points or visual defects in the finished cone wall. This batter is fundamentally similar to a wafer batter used in other baked snack applications, but formulated with a higher sugar content specifically to produce the sweeter flavor and the slightly different browning characteristics associated with a sugar cone compared to a plain wafer cone. The mixed batter is held in temperature-controlled tanks that keep it at a consistent viscosity, since a batter that thickens unevenly during a production run would create inconsistent cone wall thickness from batch to batch. The cone baking process uses specialized rotating molds, often arranged on a large rotating wheel or carousel system, with each mold shaped as a cone-shaped cavity formed from 2 halves that close together. As the carousel rotates, each mold opens at a specific point in its rotation. A precisely measured amount of batter is deposited into the open mold by a depositing nozzle, and the mold then closes around the batter under heat. The molds are heated to a high baking temperature, and within a short baking cycle, the moisture in the thin batter layer evaporates rapidly, the sugars caramelize against the hot mold surface, and the batter sets into a thin, rigid, cone-shaped shell. As the carousel continues its rotation, the molds reach a release point where they open again, and the fully baked cone is ejected, typically falling onto a collection conveyor positioned beneath the carousel. The freshly baked cones emerge golden brown, rigid, and shaped precisely to the mold's geometry, with the characteristic open top and pointed base that defines the traditional cone shape. They are still warm and slightly fragile immediately after baking, so they move onto a cooling conveyor where ambient air circulation brings them down to a stable temperature before any further handling occurs. Handling a cone while it's still warm risks cracking or crushing the thin, brittle shell, so this cooling period is built into the production timing before the cones proceed to the next stage. Once cooled, the cones move to an inspection station where they're checked for structural defects, cracks, uneven baking that leaves pale or overly dark patches, or any deformation in the cone shape that occurred during baking or ejection from the mold. Cones that pass inspection are oriented point down and loaded into specialized cone racks or carriers that will transport them through the rest of the production line in a continuous, organized stream, since maintaining consistent cone orientation is essential for every subsequent filling and coating step. With the cone manufactured and ready, the production line moves into the lining stage, where a thin layer of chocolate is applied to the interior surface of each cone. This interior chocolate lining serves a specific functional purpose beyond flavor. Ice cream cones are naturally porous and somewhat absorbent, and without a barrier layer, the ice cream's moisture would gradually soak into the cone wall during freezer storage, causing the cone to become soggy and structurally weak by the time it reaches the consumer. The chocolate lining creates a moisture barrier between the ice cream and the cone, preserving the cone's crisp texture throughout its shelf life. The lining application uses a specialized depositing or spraying system that introduces a measured amount of melted chocolate compound directly into the empty cone cavity, and then the cone is rapidly inverted or spun in a controlled motion that distributes the chocolate evenly across the entire interior surface using centrifugal force, coating the cone walls from the rim down to the pointed tip before the chocolate has a chance to set. After this even distribution, the lined cones pass through a brief cooling tunnel where circulating cool air sets the chocolate lining quickly, transforming it from a fluid coating into a thin, solid shell adhered to the interior cone surface. This rapid setting is important for production speed, since the cones need to move forward to the filling stage without delay, and a chocolate lining that takes too long to set would create bottlenecks in the continuous production flow. With the interior lining set, the cones are now ready to receive the ice cream itself, and this stage is where temperature control becomes one of the most critical variables in the entire process. The ice cream used in drumstick production is manufactured in a separate processing system before it ever reaches the cone filling line. The ice cream mix, a blend of milk, cream, sugar, stabilizers, and emulsifiers, is pasteurized and homogenized in the same general manner as standard ice cream production, then sent through a continuous freezer, a specialized piece of equipment that simultaneously freezes the mix and whips air into it, creating the smooth, light texture associated with soft serve and many packaged ice cream products. This continuous freezing process brings the mix down to a semi-frozen, soft, extrudable consistency, not yet hard frozen, but cold and viscous enough to hold its shape once dispensed. This semi-frozen ice cream is piped directly from the continuous freezer through insulated, refrigerated lines to the cone filling station, minimizing the distance and time between ice cream production and cone filling to preserve the ice cream's temperature and texture. At the filling station, the lined cones move along the conveyor beneath a filling nozzle that dispenses a precisely measured amount of the semi-frozen ice cream directly into each cone cavity. The filling nozzle is engineered to deposit the ice cream in a way that fills the cone completely without trapping air pockets, since air pockets inside the filled cone would create inconsistent texture and could lead to structural weak points once the ice cream fully hardens. As the ice cream fills the cone, it typically forms a slightly rounded or peaked top extending just above the rim, anticipating the next several stages where additional toppings and coatings will be added on top of this base fill. Immediately after filling, the cones move into a hardening tunnel, an enclosed freezing chamber that uses extremely cold circulating air, often well below -20 degrees Fahrenheit, to rapidly freeze the soft-filled ice cream into a fully hardened state. This rapid hardening is essential not just for food safety and quality, but for enabling all of the subsequent processing steps, since soft ice cream couldn't structurally support the peanut topping or the chocolate dip that come next, without losing its shape or having those toppings sink into the surface rather than adhering to it. Once the ice cream has fully hardened inside the tunnel, the cones emerge ready for the topping stage, where crushed peanuts are applied to the exposed ice cream surface. The peanuts used for this topping arrive at the facility already roasted and prepared, similar to the peanut preparation process used in many other snack and confectionery applications, and are processed through a dedicated crushing or chopping system that reduces whole roasted peanuts down to the small, irregular pieces that create the characteristic crunchy topping texture associated with drumstick cones. This crushed peanut material is fed into a topping application system positioned directly above the conveyor carrying the hardened, filled cones. As each cone passes beneath, a controlled amount of crushed peanuts is either sprinkled down onto the exposed ice cream surface, or in many production lines, the cone itself is dipped or rolled into a bed of crushed peanuts to ensure complete and even coverage across the entire exposed top surface, taking advantage of the still slightly tacky exterior of the hardened ice cream to help the peanut pieces adhere properly. Following peanut application, the cones may pass through a brief secondary hardening period if needed to ensure the peanut topping is firmly set against the ice cream surface before moving into the final and most visually iconic stage of the entire process. The chocolate dip. The chocolate used for the exterior dip is a compound chocolate coating, similar in formulation principle to coatings used across many frozen novelty products, selected specifically because it remains workable and adherent at the very cold temperatures the hardened ice cream cone is now at, while also setting quickly once applied, which is essential given that the product needs to move continuously through the production line without extended pauses. This compound coating is held in large temperature-controlled tanks that maintain it in a fluid, pourable state throughout the production run. At the dipping station, each hardened, peanut-topped cone is inverted and lowered into the chocolate coating, submerging just the top portion of the ice cream, typically covering the peanut-studded surface and creating that recognizable chocolate-dipped peak that has become one of the most visually distinctive features of the Drumstick brand. The depth of this dip is mechanically controlled to ensure consistency across every single cone, since dipping too shallow would leave peanuts exposed and dipping too deep would coat portions of the cone that aren't meant to receive the chocolate layer. After the brief submersion, the cone is lifted clear of the chocolate bath, and any excess coating is allowed to drip off before the cone moves forward, ensuring an even coating thickness rather than thick, uneven pooling at the edges. The freshly dipped cones then pass through another hardening tunnel, where the cold air rapidly sets the chocolate coating into its final firm, glossy shell. This setting has to happen quickly, both to maintain production speed and because a chocolate coating that remains too long in a semi-liquid state at this stage risks slumping or losing its shape against the cold ice cream surface beneath it. Once the chocolate dip has fully hardened, the finished drumstick cone, now complete with its baked sugar cone, chocolate interior lining, hardened ice cream, peanut topping, and chocolate-dipped exterior moves into the inspection stage. Automated visual inspection systems and, on many lines, human quality control staff working alongside them examine each cone for any visible defects, checking for cracked cones, incomplete or uneven chocolate dipping, missing or sparse peanut coverage, or any other cosmetic and structural issues that would make the product unsuitable for retail sale. Cones that fail this inspection are removed from the line, while those that pass continue forward toward final packaging. The individual wrapping stage comes next, and this is a critical step both for product protection and for maintaining the frozen integrity of the ice cream during distribution and storage. Each finished cone is fed into a wrapping machine that applies a printed plastic or foil laminate wrapper around the entire product, typically using a fold and seal mechanism that wraps the film snugly around the cone's shape, sealing it at the seams to create a protective barrier against freezer burn, moisture loss, and physical damage during handling. This individual wrapping also carries the product branding and labeling information that consumers see when they reach into a retail freezer case. Once individually wrapped, the cones are immediately directed into a deep freeze tunnel or holding chamber maintained at standard commercial freezer temperatures, ensuring the product's internal temperature remains fully stabilized before it proceeds to bulk packaging, since any thermal fluctuation at this stage could begin to compromise the ice cream's texture before the product even leaves the facility. From this deep freeze holding stage, wrapped cones are conveyed toward the case packing area, where automated equipment groups individual wrapped cones into the multi-count retail box configurations familiar from grocery store freezer aisles, typically arranging a specific number of cones into a printed paperboard carton, sized and labeled for that particular product variety. The carton is then sealed by automated folding and adhesive application equipment, securing the wrapped cones inside. These filled retail cartons then move to a secondary case packing stage, where multiple cartons are grouped into larger shipping cases, designed for bulk transport and warehouse storage, rather than direct retail display. Automated case packing equipment assembles these larger cardboard cases from flat blanks, fills them with the appropriate number of retail cartons, seals the case, and applies a printed production code directly onto the case surface, recording the manufacturing date, production line identifier, and batch information necessary for full traceability throughout the supply chain. The sealed, coated cases then proceed to the palletizing area, where either robotic palletizing systems or programmed mechanical equipment stack the cases onto pallets according to specific loading patterns engineered to maximize stability during transport while making efficient use of available space within freezer trucks and cold storage warehouses. Given that this entire product line operates within a frozen product category, every single stage from this point forward, including the palletizing process itself, takes place within temperature-controlled environments specifically maintained to prevent any thawing or temperature abuse that could compromise product quality before it ever reaches a retail freezer case. Completed pallets are wrapped in stretch film to secure the stacked cases, labeled with distribution routing information identifying their destination within the broader cold chain distribution network, and then moved by specialized cold storage equipment, including forklifts rated for sustained operation in freezer environments, into the facility's frozen finished goods warehouse. This warehouse itself operates as a massive temperature-controlled storage environment, holding completed pallets at consistent frozen temperatures until they're scheduled for outbound shipment to distribution centers. From this frozen warehouse, pallets enter the broader cold chain distribution network, traveling via refrigerated trucks maintained at consistent frozen temperatures throughout transport, moving through regional distribution centers, before ultimately reaching the grocery store freezer cases, convenience store locations, and other retail outlets where consumers encounter the finished product, completing a journey that began with simple batter poured into a rotating cone mold and ended with a fully assembled, multi-component frozen novelty traveling through an unbroken cold chain to reach millions of consumers every single day. From baked sugar cone to chocolate lining, semi-frozen ice cream filling, rapid hardening, crushed peanut topping, chocolate dipping, individual wrapping, and multi-stage palletized packaging, all maintained within careful temperature control at nearly every single stage after the initial baking process. The Drumstick production line represents a genuinely complex coordination of baking technology, dairy processing, and cold chain engineering compressed into a single, continuously moving production sequence. That is the complete production journey of the Drumstick ice cream cone, from raw batter to the frozen, wrapped product on the shelf. If this kind of detailed factory process is what you come here for, A like genuinely helps this channel reach more people. Subscribe for more food manufacturing and production documentaries, and leave a comment letting us know which frozen treat or food product you'd like to see covered in detail next.